Wargaming, here with Dan. It's Patrick here with Dan. We're going to be playing from the new chapter approved 2018 edition. We've rolled off and we're doing Eternal War. We're doing the 4 Pillars mission. So pretty excited to do the new mission. Also, we're doing Necrons versus Death Guard. So both armies have had a bit of a points drop. The Necrons more so than the Death Guard in terms of there was more points dropped across the board for Necrons than there was for Death Guard. Death Guard was mainly weapons, wasn't it? And then you had the Plague Marines.
Yeah, Plague Marines got, I think it's a point reduction, and the Hell Brutes obviously because Dreadnoughts had a...
Yes, yeah.
And some point reductions with las cannons. And
yeah, so you said over a 2,000 point list, you probably dropped around 100.
100 and a bit, yeah. Obviously, it depends on what you take. Poxwalkers didn't change. If you were running a really heavy Plague list, then Plague Marine list, then you would obviously feel a lot better points drop. Whereas
I feel like Necrons over 2,000 points, some of the lists I made, you're probably looking at more of like a 250 point drop, so significantly more. But as we know, before chapter approved come out, Death Guard were in a better position, I think, than Necrons.
Yeah.
So yeah, really looking forward. The missions are very, very different, as you probably all know by now. Looking from the setup's different, the whole way you actually set up the game. So it's interesting, and then you've got the acceptable casualties rule, which basically means if you get tabled, you could still win the game. So there's a lot of different things that chapter approved has changed, and I feel for the better. It's gonna make you have to play a little bit more tactically, I think.
Yeah, working the objectives and
yeah, it's going to change.
Especially your Maelstrom as well, because you'll be able to possibly create a lot of points and go hell for leather, have everything destroyed and still win the game.
Yeah, and it's going to change the way people build their lists. Because I mean, full knights lists are going to be at a disadvantage, and you know, if you've got an elite army, any elite like Custodes, they're going to struggle a little bit more, I think, than they did before with these mission types. But
I think they allow stalwarts to get on objectives and get off objectives. So.
Yeah, that's true. They are harder to get off the table in general, but there's just not so many, is there?
No. Forward control is a bit more. But once you get into position and you're holding objectives,
yeah, I mean,
especially if you're looking at ITC rules where hold more.
Yeah, and definitely, and that is, I mean, the mission we're playing today, the 4 Pillars mission, is similar to that in terms of you've got to hold more objectives, you get points for that and things like that. So yeah, I really like the direction they're going in with the new missions. I think it's a positive thing. Am I 100% happy with all the changes to Necrons? No. I think that there's a few other things that I feel are probably still too expensive. Flayed ones, Lich Guard.
Very surprised Flayed ones didn't get a points drop.
Yeah, I mean they had one when the Codex dropped, and they haven't had one since. But you still never see.
To be honest, I think the Doomsday Arc was reasonably priced for what it did, and they've had a points reduction, and your Flayed ones haven't.
Yeah, I was surprised with the Doomsday Arc reduction, to be honest, and I was surprised they also put the Tesseract Vault up, because I can understand that people were playing a lot of Tesseract Vaults, but it was still 500 points, and now it's 570.
60 or
67, yeah. So it went up 70 points, and I just don't think that was necessary, because I think if you drop the points of the rest of the army like they have done, you'll use more of that. It's that people were taking them to competitions and stuff and using free Tesseract Vaults. Well, yeah, because Necrons weren't really competitive, so they were trying to do the cheesiest thing they could to be competitive, and I don't think many of them done that well. But yeah, it was an interesting move. I'm not sure if it was the right one. You might completely disagree. Maybe it did need a rise, but when you're looking at a Castellan Knight, which is now only 30 points more expensive than it, I think most people would agree a Castellan Knight's going to be a better choice every time, considering you've got the amount of firepower that has, and then you've got the close combat. And I know you can dish out more wounds with the Tesseract Vault, but you're really looking at like a maximum of 6 and a maximum of 6 around, and it has no real close combat. But the Tesseract Vault has a slightly better in-run, but then you can make the Knights better. So yeah, interesting discussion, but we won't bore you with that anymore. We've covered chapter approved, points drops to the armies that we're playing. So we're going to go on, we're going to roll off to see who chooses the map and their zone, and then we'll go into deployment. Yeah, so we'll be back soon. Okay, so the Necrons, 2,800 points. So we have a battalion detachment. Heading up the battalion detachment is a Cryptek, and he has the Chronometron, so the 5-up invuln. He's also taken the relic, the Veil of Darkness. Imhotep, who is not the Warlord, but he is leading up this South-Tech battalion. We have a unit of 18 warriors, 10 Tesla Immortals, and another 18 warriors. That's for the troops in the battalion. Then we have the Cetan Shard of the Nightbringer, and he's taking Antimatter Meteor and Skylar Fallen Stars as his powers. We have 8 Scarabs, a unit of 8 Scarabs, a unit of 6 Wraiths, all equipped with transdimensional beamers. We have a Monolith. See what we can do with that. We have 5 Destroyers. We have 10 Lich Guard, and that makes up that battalion. And then coming over here, we have the Warlord, Illuminus Cesares, taking Immortal Pride as his Warlord trait, which gives the Deny the Witch, and also you can't fail morale if you're within, I think it's 6 inches of him. And what's good is, although this Spearhead attachment is a different dynasty keyword, so it's Nihiliac. So I've got the 2 Doomsday Arcs and a Heavy Destroyer. Sorry, it's not the exact model for Heavy Destroyer, but that's what I'm using them as today. But with Illuminus Cesares, because he doesn't get the dynasty keyword, it applies to all Necrons. So you can put him in one, and it will his Warlord trait will apply to all of them. So that gives me, with the battalion and the Spearhead, 9 command points, 5 for the battalion, 3 for being Battleforged, and 1 for the Spearhead, so 9. So we'll go on, and that's the whole list. So if I just come out there, we can see 2,800 points looks like.
Right, so here for the Death Guard, we have the Plaguecaster. He's the Warlord. He has the Arch Contaminator Warlord trait. We also have Typhus. We have 2 squads of 20 Poxwalkers, a squad of 8 Plague Marines, and that's with a Blight Launcher and Plasma, and that one's a Plague Spewer and a Plasma. We have Rhino with Havoc Launcher. We have a Predator with 2 Heavy Bolters, Twin Las, and a Havoc Launcher and Combi Bolter. We have an Outrider with a Sorcerer, Demon Prince, 2 Bloat Drones, and the Blight Hauler. The Demon Prince has Suppurating Plates as a relic. I paid the 1 extra CP for another relic as well, but I'll show you that in a second. And then we have 2 Vanguards with a Chaos Lord, and then we have the Plague Surgeon, the Blightbringer, and Biologicus. And then we have the other Vanguard with 2 Hellbrutes, 1 with Plasma Missile Launcher, 1 with Twin Las Missile Launcher, the Demon Prince with 2 Twin Talons, and then the Blight Lord Terminators. They're all with axes, and Combi Bolters bar 1 that's got the Combi Flamer, and 1's got a Reaper Auto Cannon. And that's everything. The Fulgaris's helm, the extra Warlord, extra relic, sorry. He's on the Plague Surgeon. It increases his auras by 3 inches, so just to get the re-roll ones for Disgusting Resilience a bit further. And that's all, and that gives me 10 command points.
Okay, so we have deployed. We've got 4 pillars, so each of these red barrels here are the objective markers. You can only hold them with troops, and basically if you hold more, you get a victory point. And if you kill more than your opponent in the battle round, you get a victory point. So it's fairly simple, Eternal War. You also get obviously Slain the Warlord, First Strike and Linebreaker. So the Death Guard have deployed along here, and the Necrons have deployed round here. So Dan did actually try and seize. He rolled a 1, so unfortunately did not seize. Well, unfortunately for him, fortunately for me. So we're going to go into the Necron movement phase for turn 1. Okay, Necron turn 1 movement. So we've basically just moved this whole blob up. The Wraiths are going up. The Citan's gone up, the Monolith, and then also over here, these have stayed still, the Doomsday Ark and the Tesla Immortals. And over here, these have still stayed still as well. Lich Guard still hiding back there. So we'll go into the Citan power phase. Okay, end of Necron shooting phase. So we done the Antimatter Meteor into the Rhino, took off 2 wounds. We shot also with these 2 Wraiths that were in with Transcendent Streamers, didn't do anything. These 3 Wraiths shot at the Hellbrute and took 2 wounds off. The Doomsday Ark at the back over there shot at this Hellbrute and took 6 wounds off. And then the other Doomsday Ark shot at the green Hellbrute and just only took another wound off, unfortunately. There was some fire from the Necron Warriors, it got saved. And the Heavy Destroyer didn't actually wound. He hit but didn't wound. The Monolith shot at the Malefic Blight Hauler and took 2 wounds off, was it? Yeah, 2 wounds. Yeah. So that's the end of the shooting. I did just add, I did use adaptive subroutines. So I used a command point to advance these guys. So we're going to go into the charge phase. Okay, so end of the charge phase, end of the fight phase, sorry. We took 1 wound from Overwatch, from the Rhino. So we charged these 2, we charged the Hauler and the Rhino. 3 Wraiths went into the Hauler and did 0 wounds. Got 4 hits through, but didn't do a wound. And then the same with these 2, because the other one wasn't in fight range. And yeah, again, exactly the same thing, didn't wound. So we're going to go into Death Guard turn 1. I didn't get first strike because I didn't kill anything. So we're going to go into turn 1 and see what happens for Death Guard.
Right. Death Guard movement phase. We moved the Demon Prince to here. Moved the Blood Drones up, the Marines up. We fell back with the Hellbrute here and used Blasphemous Machine, so you won't get a penalty. And we, Malefic Blight Haulers moved back as well. He obviously won't be able to shoot.
And the Rhino. And
the Rhinos drop back out of combat and won't be able to shoot. Everything on this side advanced bar the Plague Marines, they just normal movement. And everything else advanced up, Poxwalkers, characters. The Sorcerer stayed still, and I think that's it. We're going to go on to Psychic phase now, which is quite a bit of. So we'll see what it looks like after that.
Okay, so Psych round for Death Guard. So Typhus put
Miasma Pestilence and Pearlescent Vitality on this squad of Poxwalkers.
So they're now +1 toughness and strength and -1 to hit. Then cast Smite on these guys with the Plaguecaster, done 1 wound, and he tried to get something off, but I don't think it went off. I know it did, but it was the one where you roll 6 Plague Wind.
Yeah,
but it didn't do anything. Sorcerer
Smited and then did Gift of Contagion.
Yep, and they've now got -1 strength. And then we unsmite and
Smite.
No, it wasn't. It was Curse of the Leper. So 1 smited and done. So didn't go off.
Didn't go off. Yeah.
And then the Curse of the Leper, and they've done 1 mortal wound. So that was the end of the psychic phase. So a lot of psychic powers going off, buffing those Poxwalkers and debuffing the Wraiths, and also we lost a Wraith and one's down to 2 wounds. So we're going to go into the shooting phase for Death Guard.
What did you do that bit? Right, after Death Guard shooting phase, we've pretty much put everything into the Wraiths. With their free up invuln, just sucked up all the firepower. We used Blight Bombardment off of the Marines here and got a good lot of damage through, that helps, and everything from the vehicles that could fire, the Plague Spewers, Plague Belcher from the Marine unit on the other side, all went in. We also took off some wounds off of the monolith with the twin las and one off the plasma gun from the Marine unit as well, just to start drumming that down. But to be honest, I could have done with killing them a bit earlier and putting some more firepower into the monolith. But we will see what happens in Necron's turn 2. Hopefully they don't take out too much of my stuff and I can still get up the table and make a difference.
Okay, so we have shunted a few warriors and other bits up. Bidunmai will be down to the Warrior Blonde and the Destroyers, who we Veil of Darkness over here with the Cryptek, ready to lay down some fire. We moved the Scarabs up. We done Transdimensional Corridor with the Lich Guard, moved them up, and then we moved up the Monolith. We moved the Cetan over here to get off some powers. The Immortals stayed where they are, which I'm not sure was the right move, but we will see. And then the 2 Doomsday Arcs and the Heavy Destroyers stayed where they were. And that is about it. So we're going to go into the Cetan powers phase. Okay, end of the Necron shooting phase. Things could have gone better. We whiffed with a lot of things. The Doomsday Arcs both whiffed badly. So we basically shot a few things, done Sky of the Fallen Stars with the Cetan Shard. We ended up taking just 1 Plague Marine, 1 Poxwalker off that, and 1 Poxwalker off the back unit. We done Called to Storm from Imotech and done a few mortal wounds. Again, ended up taking about 3 or 4 Poxwalkers out. We shot the Monolith all into these Plague Marines, took quite a few of them out. We shot with the Warriors, these Warriors at this one, right. Took it down 2 wounds. These Warriors over here, right. Shot and Plague Marines, took some off.
Morale wrong.
We got to do, and then this shot into this bloated drone, but didn't do anything. Oh, and the Destroyers over here, 3 of them shot into this Demon Prince, and because of some good rolls from Dan with saves, he only took 2 wounds. And then these 2 shot at the Hellbrute that was here, and we did actually do 5 damage and ended up taking it out, which was quite a good thing. So we're going to go into the charge and fight phase in a second. Okay, so at the end of the Necron fight and charge and fight phase, we charged in here, we exploded the Scarab, took 2 wounds off, and we took another wound off with fighting with the Scarabs. Over here, the Lich Guard whiffed massively, ended up taking 2 wounds off the bloat drone, but should have done a lot more. I rolled horrendously. And the fight back, I lost another Scarab base, but he didn't hit with against the Lich Guard. And then over here, the Plague Marines ran away scared of the Necrons. So we're going to be going into the Death Guard turn 2. At the moment, Death Guard are up 2 victory points to Necrons 0. We'll see what happens at the end of the battle round.
Right, so movement phase. Demon Princes come over to try and deal with some of these. The Plague Marines have just shimmied up a little bit. Chaos Lords moved up. Demon Prince has moved up. Can't decide what he wants to charge yet. These 2 dropped out. 2 Blood Drones dropped out of combat. The Sorcerer's moved. The Predator's moved, but I've used Blasphemous Machine, so he can still fire on with no minuses. Everything's just moved up. The unit here, they advanced, this unit just moved, and these just moved. Brought the Blight Lord Terminators in on this flank here. So to hopefully deal with this warriors, and I moved the Rhino up into a more central annoying area. I think that was it. Now on to psychic phase. Right, on this unit of Poxwalkers, we've done Miasma of Pestilence, Blades of Purification, and Fluorescent Vitality. We smited and the Lich Guard.
Curse of the Leper.
And yeah, Curse of the Leper, and had a Plague Wind. We killed how many?
2. Killed 2, 1 down to 1 wound.
Down to 1 wound, yeah. And we smited and killed one of the destroyers. So not bad. Got all the powers off.
Didn't
even perils on 8 powers. So that's 16 powers. So it's cast with no perils. So I'm quite happy with that. Right. So moving on to shooting phase.
Okay. So Death Guard shooting phase. So the Predator and the Hellbrute both shot into the monolith and took 17 wounds off, and it only had 16 wounds, so that died. It didn't explode. A lot of other fire from over here went into the Lich Guard. The Scarabs got taken out by the Plague Drone and the Bloat Drone and the Plague Marines. I lost a few more Lich Guard after the sight phase to shooting. The Blight Hauler shot into the destroyers, and I saved. And the Terminators took off 3 warriors from this unit, and also took 2 wounds down on the Doomsday Ark. So that was the roundup of the shooting phase. So we're going to go into the charge and fight phase. Took 1 down.
Right. 2. So Demon Prince charged in, took 1 off, took 1 wound in return. Demon Prince over here obliterated the Lich Guard. The failed charge from the Blight Lord Terminators, they saved the Overwatch. The Poxwalkers failed their charge. And I think that was it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that was it. So we're moving on to turn 3 for the Necrons. In that round, I got 1 more victory point.
For kill, yeah.
For kill. We're both sitting on 2 objectives each, so we're not getting anything for that at the moment. It's literally on kill. Moving on to Necron turn 3.
Okay, Necron turn 3 movement phase. So we reanimated over here and got 2 back out of the 3 we lost, and we reanimated 1 destroyer. We put my will be done on these 2 warrior units, even though that they're weapon skill 2 anyway, just in case there's any minuses. Left the Doomsday Arks and the Heavy Destroyer where they are, left the Tesser Immortals where they are, and just drop these destroyers out and the Cryptek back. So we are going into the Catan Powers, or Catan Powers, however you'd like to pronounce that, and then we're going to go into shooting phase. Okay, so end of Necron shooting phase. Dan done some disgustingly resilient saves, like so many good saves, but we'll talk through what happened. So the destroyers shot the Demon Prince. We did actually kill this Demon Prince over here. We shot a lot at this. We shot all the warriors, didn't do any wounds. We shot the Heavy Destroyer, saved. We shot the Doomsday Ark.
14.
So I got 14 wounds through, and Dan, disgustingly resilient. He got disgustingly resilient. He saved something like 5, no, 6.
Well,
it would have been 7.
It took him 7,
yeah.
7.
Yeah. So it took him around 7, yeah. So he saved 7. Disgusting resilient. So he saved half the amount of wounds on disgusting resilient.
On a 5 up.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. So we shot the Warriors at the Terminators over here and took a wound down. The Citan shot took a wound down, so we got rid of one Terminator, and the Doomsday Ark did as well. We got rid of one or two Terminators? Just
one. And one down to one wound.
One down to one wound.
The Doomsday Ark also shot and killed the Hellbrute.
I also shot Luminous Azares at the Demon Prince, was it?
At the Hellbrute.
Oh, at the Hellbrute it saved. Oh yeah, and the Doomsday Ark shot his big gun at the Hellbrute and killed it.
Just.
Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much what happened. And to be honest, if Dan's saving rolls hadn't been so good, I think the Necrons would be in a pretty good position. But as it stands at the end of the shooting phase, I think that unfortunately at the moment, well, the Death Guard are winning on victory points, and I just feel like they're slightly tipping the tide of the battle at the moment. But not all is lost. Only takes for me to have a good turn and Dan to have a bad one, and things could change. So we'll go into the charge and fight phase. So Citan charged in, took a wound to Overwatch, killed one Terminator, took another one down to one wound, and also lost a wound in the fight back. So it's the end of the Necrons' turn. Things still to play for still, but the Death Guard are on 3 points, Necrons are on 0. So the Necrons need the Death Guard to have a really bad turn, maybe perils every single sight roll, but you know, we'll see what happens. It's all down to rolls at the end of the day. Maybe we can turn it around.
Right, Death Guard, turn 3 movement. The Poxwalker character Blob has moved up a bit. The Blight Lords have stayed in combat with the Nightbringer. The Rhino's moved up here to possibly do a multi-charge on the Warrior Blobs. Demon Prince has moved up. The Plague Marines have shuffled around. Everything stayed the same here. And the 2 Blow Drones have moved in to try and deal with the Destroyers. Whether they do or not is another matter. And I think that's all the movement. So now on to Sight Round.
Okay, so over here, Typhus put Blaze of Putrefaction and Miasma of Pestilence. Well, he has Miasma of Pestilence. He actually failed to put Persistent Vitality. Then the Playcaster put Blaze of Putrefaction and failed his Smite. This sorcerer is out of range of anything. And then the Demon Prince done Plague Winds, or the other one?
Curse of the Leper.
Curse of the Leper, sorry. And he done 3 more wounds to this unit of warriors. And that was it for the sight round. So we're going to be going into Death Guard shooting phase.
So, end of charge in the combat phase. The took a wound off the Nightbringer. He killed 2 in return, which wasn't the best. Poxwalkers got in, and they took down 8 altogether. 7 off this unit and 1 off this unit, which was lucky. So I managed to string out the chain to stay in proximity to that objective, which I forgot to do, to be honest. And obviously still keeping that one over there. The Demon Prince, he killed 5, was it? I think 5. Don't think the Rhino did anything apart from take a Hall of Overwatch. I think he lost 1 wound to 60 shots.
Yeah.
And then took a few wounds from combat from Luminous Azares and
Imhotep
Stormlord. So, not bad.
Nothing really happened over here, did it?
Yeah, no, I think. Did I take a wound?
You might have taken a wound, yeah, you took 1 wound off.
One wound off, and then nothing in return.
No.
Nothing into Overwatch either, was there? So, going into turn 4, Necrons. It's now the Death Guard are getting into combat.
Necron's got 1 point for killing more units,
yep.
So it's now 3-1.
It's 3-1, yeah. We'll see what happens after this round.
Okay, Necron movement phase. We got 3 back in reanimation, and we got 7 or 5 back in reanimation over here. We got 2 destroyers back in reanimation, and the Doom of Dark went up to 4 wounds. We've dropped out of combat with the Warriors and Luminous Azares, and we stayed in with Imhotep with the Rhino. We stayed in with the Citan Shard as well. And that is about it. So we're going to go into the C-Town powers and then into shooting phase. Okay, so shooting, the Doomsday Ark over here shot his flare ray into the Demon Prince and he saved on Disgustingly Resilient. But he did shoot his big gun into the Predator and done about 20 wounds or something. It was a lot.
Yeah.
It was well over 10. Killed the Predator, didn't blow up. We shot the Tesla Immortals over here at these guys. Oh, the Scarlet Fallen Stars did go off on the Terminators and we killed one, and also it did go off on these, but Dan made 3 Disgusting Resilient saves on them. So we took about 5 out of the Poxwalkers with Tesla Immortals. These couldn't shoot because they fell out, and then the Destroyers shot at this guy over here and took him down from 8 to 2. And then the Doomsday Ark shot his flare ray into the Demon Prince here and finally managed to kill it. It's soaked up so much damage. Soaked up so much damage. And then the big gun shot at this one and didn't do anything because it didn't wound. So I only got 1 hit through and then that didn't wound. So we're going to go into the fight phase. It's just the Emotech on the Rhino and then C-Tan on the Terminators over there. So we're going to round that up and see what happens. Okay, so Emotech and the Rhino did nothing to each other. And over here we killed 1 Terminator and they did nothing back. So we're going to go into Death Guard turn 4.
Right, so left the Blood Drones where they are, shuffled the Marines round, moved the Lord, moved the Blight Hauler, and we moved the Sorcerer. We shuffled all the Poxwalkers up and all the characters, moved the Plaguecaster over to here, and yeah, everything's just shuffled up the board really. And then moving on to shooting phase. Moving on to side phase first, then shoot.
Okay, so Death Guard side phase, Typhus put the Miasma Pestilence and Putrescent Vitality on this unit of Poxwalkers, the big unit, and the Plaguecaster put on there the Blades of Putrefaction, and then the Plaguecaster rolled an 11 on Smite and killed the C-Tan outright. And then this Sorcerer whiffed and didn't get anything off.
The C-Tan didn't blow up.
The C-Tan didn't blow up, unfortunately. So we're going to go into the shooting phase for Death Guard turn 4.
Right, Death Guard shooting. Wasn't as great as I'd liked. We managed to take out 2 Destroyers from there, and one down to 1 wound. That was with the Blood Drones, and a few of the Plague Marines shot, and the Blight Hauler, but that didn't do anything. How many? Couple of warriors from the Blight Lord Terminators.
Yeah, and the Plasma Pistol.
And the Plasma Pistol killed 1, and I think that was pretty much it for shooting. So we're moving on to charge and fight phase.
So, fight and charge phase. Over here, the green base Poxwalkers charged in first. They lost 1 in Overwatch. Then all these charged in, and they took out 5 warriors. So they got 5 back to their number, and then the warriors took out 1 back. So that was all that happened in the charge and fight phase. So at the end of the round, Necrons took 1 victory point for killing more units, and the Death Guard took 1 for holding more objectives, because they currently hold this one because of more models. They hold that one and they hold this one. So we just got this one over here. So we're going to go into Necrons turn 5. Okay, Necron movement turn 5. We just dropped the warriors out here, shuffled these warriors up a little bit. We've left the Destroyers where they are. We've left the Doomsday Arks and the Immortals where they are. Not much to move. Oh, we've dropped Imotech out of combat as well. So we're going to go into the shooting phase, because the Nightbringer is no more, so we don't actually have any powers. So shooting phase, here we go. Okay, end of Necrons shooting turn 5. Didn't really go very well. Did we take any wounds off the?
2.
We took 2 wounds off of the Blight Hauler with the big gun from the Doomsday Ark, and we took Didn't take any wounds down from that. We did with the other dudes out. Big gun took a couple of wounds down.
2 wounds, yeah.
We took out with the Gauss Flower. We took out that other unit of Poxwalkers with the green. So there's only 1 unit of Poxwalkers left. Tessa Immortals fired into these. The Warriors fired into these, and we only ended up taking out about 5 because of their toughness 5. It's really obviously affecting the rolls.
With the Miasma of Pestilence and Typhus buffs.
Yeah, and the putrefaction.
Yeah,
not putrefaction.
Sorry, the
vitality. Yeah, so and then Cryptek took 1 wound down on this with shooting, and the Destroyer's done nothing to this one.
After I rolled two 5s on.
Yeah, Dan's been rolling. I mean, it's another level. Like 5s and 6s. It's just unbelievable. Disgusting resilient alone.
Saves have not been great.
Yeah, I don't know. Your saves have been average with 5s, 5-up saves and stuff. You've done
but disgusting resilient saves have been very good.
Yeah, it's very, very hard just to knock them down. But there we are. So I don't think there's going to be any charges that I can see. So we're going to go into Death Guard movement phase. Okay, movement phase. The Lords moved up a little bit. These have shuffled around. Sorcerers dropped down. Over here, the Rhinos just shuffled over. Poxwalkers shuffled up. The gang of characters have shuffled up, and so have the Terminators. So we're going to move into the Psychic phase for Death Guard turn 5. Okay, so Dan's done the normal over here with Typhus and the Malignant Playcaster. Put the 3 buffs on the Poxwalkers, and he smited the Warriors and took 2 off. Over here, he perils on his smite and lost 3 wounds, so it's down to 1 on the Sorcerer, and then he failed to get off Curse of the Leper. So we're going into the Death Guard shooting phase. Okay, so the Rhino shot these, took 1 wound off, and all of this
Warrior.
Yeah, all of these guys shot at the Warriors here and took about 5 out. All of these back here that could shoot, shot into the Destroyers, took 1 out and 1 down to 1 wound. So we're going to go into the charge and fight phase. Okay, so basically in the charge and fight phase, the Poxwalkers and Typhus charged the Warriors, killed them all, and the Noxious Blightbringer charged Imatech, took 2 wounds off him, and then Imatech killed him. Oh, and the Rhino tried to charge Imatech and the Warriors first and died to Overwatch. So that leaves us at 2 units each. So there was no victory point score for that, just 1 victory point scored for Dan for holding more objectives. So we're going to see if we go into turn 6. So I'll roll. On a 1, it doesn't go on. So that is a victory to the Death Guard. So we'll do it on post-game chat, and we'll just have a little chat. So post-game chat, brilliant battle, massive battle, 2,800 points. It was, I think, at the end of the day, the difference between the 2 armies, not that either of them were like optimal. I think they were both quite good armies. I mean, I took the Monolith, which maybe wasn't optimal, but the difference between the 2 armies in the end was Dan's dice rolls, because his 5s and 6s on saves, Disgusting Resilient was just, the Disgusting Resilient was
mainly Disgusting Resilient.
Yeah, it was.
My hit rolls were average, but the save rolls were average. Disgusting Resilience was up there.
That unit of Poxwalkers with all of the spells and the buffs made them very hard to get rid of, and
Typhus, his buffs, and the Plague Surgeon with rewrite 1s.
Out of the amount of spells you used each turn, he perilled once. I mean, and that was out of 8 a turn.
8 a turn, yeah.
8 a turn.
Yeah, 6 a turn. 6 a turn for the last turn.
Yeah, on average, probably say 6 a turn, but that's still a lot, not to perils over 5 turns.
Yeah,
obviously finished on turn 5. I don't think the Necrons could have got it back anyway on points, and I don't think that. I think if it had just gone on and on and on, I just don't think we would have had enough to get rid of the Poxwalkers and everything else that was, with the Disgusting Reason. You still had Plague Marines.
Typhus was getting into combat. The other characters were just starting to get into combat. To be honest, the Plague Surgeon is pretty good in combat. The Plague Caster, his staff weapon's really good in combat.
Yeah.
And they're all getting up the table. The Terminators are still there. The only thing that was really bothering me was having Destroyers down this bottom end, but I did have all the Plague Marines that I could have started to pile into them. And
they were holding
Chaos
it, and the Plague Marines were there to hold the objective anyway.
Yeah.
So I think it was a good game. And like I say, I think the big difference between the two armies was the disgustingly resilient rolls. Dan was well above average. I mean, on one of them rolls on the Demon Prince, he rolled half, with 5s and 6s, half of the 14 wounds. He got 5s and 6s.
One of the others was 6 damage, and I rolled 4 6s and 1 5.
But it happens, you know. It was good. Loved it. Loved the new chapter approved.
One thing I would say, the Chaos Lord, yeah, the reroll ones, I don't think it was efficient. I took him in this battle because I thought I'd try him out, but the Lord of Contagion is slightly more points than I could have dropped a Marine and put him in.
Yeah.
And once you get the Lord of Contagions into battle in close proximity, you're getting -1s for anything within 7 inches, which would have affected the Immortals, and
yeah,
I think that would have been more efficient use of points.
Yeah, but it was a really good battle. Really enjoyed it. I think, you know, now that they've both had the points decreases in chapter approved, I think they're pretty even.
Yeah, I would definitely agree.
I think
it was all down to dice rolls.
Yeah, it was down to dice rolls, and that's the game. So yeah,
I think chapter on this one, chapter approved on this battle.
It suited Death Guard more this mission because of holding objectives and troops moving up. Like, it definitely suited Death Guard.
Yeah, but I had to keep things back and a tail to hold stuff. I'd like to have got the Plague Marines forward, but I had to hold that objective obviously because it was a troop specific objective, which means I couldn't push these to get them in range of your warriors. Yeah. So
no, I mean, I really enjoyed it. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Like I said, I think on a different day with different dice rolls, it could have been a Necron.
Is a really good. The differences they've made with the points.
Yeah,
and
I think it makes the missions more balanced.
I was a bit dubious on what I wanted to roll, whether it would be good to win the roll off.
Yeah, with the start, that's all changed. It was really good. I just think it's just made the game
really
made the game more balanced, and I think, you know, Games Workshop keep doing that. They keep making changes to try and balance the game, and that's what we want. You know, we want a fair game. But thanks very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and like and subscribe if you did, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks, bye.